Good morning, children. Let's start with the next chapter of Unit Test 2nd, which are going to be there in November. Lesson number 19, Getting Ready for Adventures. So please write down Unit Test 2, which are going to be there in November. This is really very interesting and humorous story. You're going to find it very interesting. So let's start reading, but before that let's know about the writer. So Getting Ready for Adventures. This is an extract from Miguel de Cervantes' novel. Which novel was that? Great novel about Don Quixote. So let's read about Miguel de Cervantes. Yes, let me make it clear. Yes, Miguel de Cervantes was born in a small town in Spain. His adventures as a sailor became the basis for many of his stories. Cervantes published the first part of Don Quixote, with the pronunciation of this word Quixote, in 1605, and it was an instant success. The second part of Don Quixote was published in 1615. So this paragraph is the summary about this one. Let's read. This is an extract from Miguel de Cervantes' great novel about Don Quixote. They have written here the pronunciation of Quixote. Quixote. The eccentric gentleman. But eccentric means some strange type of behavior. Gentleman who fancied himself as a knight. Although he was not a knight, but he dressed up as a knight. He loved reading stories about knights, chivalry. Chivalry means the brave, courage people. The people like knights, the brave soldiers, princes, magicians, enchanted castles, etc. In fact, he was so absorbed in these fantasies that he slowly started to lose touch with reality. Oh my God. And began to believe that he was one of these fiction imaginary heroes. Now you can get. The thing is, this person was behaving unusual, having little strange behavior, eccentric gentleman, because he started reading the storybooks only regarding the knights, the chivalry, the brave courage stories, princes, magicians, all the fictional type of stories, fictional heroes. So he started believing that he is one of the knight, one of that brave soldier. Actually he was not, but only the thing was, he was so much absorbed in the reading that he even left eating even the food while reading. So that process, he started believing that he is one of these fiction heroes, imaginary heroes, and he started to lose the touch with reality. Now let's start reading. Many years ago, there lived in Spain a very old-fashioned, but I keep on underlining the adjectives used for this gentleman, eccentric, then very old-fashioned, who was more than 50 years of age and quite tall and slender. Slender means thin. His face was thin, his nose was long, and his hair was turning grey. He had many odd ways and did so many strange things. He was called the good Mr. Quixote. Quixote, this is in reality the name. In the hallway of his old-fashioned house, a short, rusty sword was always hanging. See the thing, because he started believing himself as a knight. And leaning against the wall were a rusty lance and a big rawhide shield. Oh, the defense from this kind of see in the picture, lance, and a shield is also there, lance and a shield, big raw shield. These weapons had belonged to his great grandfather. Mr. Quixote spent almost all his time in reading stories of knights and their daring deeds on battlefields. Daring means very brave, deeds means those fights on battlefields. One day he said to himself, "Why should I always be a plain farmer and sit here at home? Why may I not become a famous knight? I will mount my noble horse, mount means climb, my noble horse, and ride out into the world to seek adventures. So he started thinking this way, and he started questioning to himself that why I should be there as a plain farmer only. Why may not I become a famous knight? I may climb, mount my noble horse, and ride out into the world to seek, to find out adventures. The first thing he did was to clean up an armor. Armor means the metal covering earlier worn, to protect the body in the battle. This kind of cloth is the first thing. So here the meaning also better it's written see, chivalry, bravery or courage. Chivalry, bravery or courage. You can write any of one word. Then armor, the metal covering earlier worn to protect the body in battle. Okay, then the first thing he did was to clean up an armor that had belonged to his great grandfather and had been for ages lying forgotten in a corner. Oh my, nobody has seen that even. It was for ages lying there. He polished it with great care and cut some pieces of pasteboard to supply the missing parts. Just imagine. Because that was not even in proper condition. It was not in the proper condition. So what he did, he polished it with great care and cut out some pieces of the pasteboard to supply the missing parts. He painted them to look like steel. There was an old brass helmet too, and the straps for holding it on were lost. Even the straps to put on that helmet was lost. The straps were lost. But Mr. Quixote patched it up and found some green ribbons which served instead of straps. So instead of the straps, there were some green ribbons. He held it up and felt very proud to think that his head would be adorned. Adorned means decorated with so rare piece of workmanship. He started feeling that, oh my God, I'm looking so good, as if really he was a knight. Then, now he needed a horse, for every knight must have a noble horse. He thought the poor old creature in the barren was just a stuff for a war horse. He started feeling that poor old creature, my God, even the horse was very old. He started feeling in the barren that this is really a war horse. He will carry me most gallantly, means very bravely, he said to himself. Now I shall call myself Don Quixote, he cried, and since my home is in the district of La Mancha, I shall be known throughout the world as Don Quixote de La Mancha. He started feeling and he started telling. See the name. What name is nobler than that? And he started telling also, what name is nobler? This is the person whom everyone should know. So one morning, Don Quixote put on his armor, which is that dressing, for protecting. Earlier the people, they used to wear the covering, worn to protect the body, and it was made of metal. So what he did, put on his armor, whatever the condition was of that armor, and the old helmet. He took down the short sword and belted it on his side, and he took even the sword and belted on one side. He swung the leather shield upon his shoulder. This leather shield, went to the barren and saddled his horse. Saddle means to put all these ropes to ride. Then he mounted, but saddle means even the rope, even the thing where the people they used to sit. Then he mounted, he climbed and rode silently through the sleeping village and the quiet fields. I trust that I shall meet with some worthy adventure, he said to himself. But he soon realized that he was not a knight, for no one had conferred that honor upon him. But soon he realized that nobody is bowing in front of him, nobody is giving due respect to him. But as he conferred that honor upon him, given him the honor. Must he return home? No, that I shall never do, he cried. I will ride onward, and the first worthy man that I meet shall make me knight. He started asking, whosoever is going to meet me first, that person is going to, honor me as knight. So he resumed his journey. Resumed means continued. The hours passed, but neither man nor beast, means any animal also, took note of the time or distance. The horse, in quest of sweeter grass, quest means in thirst, in desire, in wish of sweeter grass, carried his master Oh my god, even the horse is thinking that he's going to get something to eat now. That is the only reason he carried his master. Just one. He carried his master to the summit of a gentle hill. On the top of the gentle hill, there in the valley below him, Don Quixote saw a little inn, a hotel, by the roadside. Did I not say that we should have an adventure? He cried. He was just talking to himself. He gathered up the reins, the horse ropes, and charged down the hill, imagining that the inn was a great castle with 4 towers and a deep moat and a drawbridge. He started imagining that inn, the small hill downside, was a castle, and all the people over there, all the towers and everything, they are waiting for him. With the greatest joy in the world, he rode onward to the door of the inn. He started going towards that inn, the small hotel. The innkeeper saw Don Quixote riding up, and he went out to welcome him. He came outside better to welcome. He was dying to laugh at the warlike appearance of his visitor, but he kept as sober as face as possible. Now, as sober as face as possible. That person was also about to laugh at his appearance, but somehow he kept as sober. He was quiet, although he wanted, was dying to laugh. But he kept quiet as sober. He kept his face as sober as possible. "Sir Knight," he said, "will you honor me alighting from your horse? Will you honor me by alighting from your horse? Getting off, coming down." He said that, "Will you honor me by coming down from your horse? I have no bed to offer you, but you shall have every other accommodation." He told that, "I don't have any bed, but any other accommodation, any room or any small space I can give you, that you may ask." Don Quixote still supposed that the inn was the castle. He started just having this thing in the mind that the inn, that hotel, was a castle, and that the innkeeper must be a governor. Oh my gosh, see the imagination. So he answered in pompous tone, where pompous means a flashy, grand way, "Senor Castellano." He started, saying this to that innkeeper. "Anything is enough for me. No bed is so sweet to me as a field of battle." See the line. He was totally behaving as a knight. He told that no bed is so sweeter to me as the field of battle. "You speak well, Sir Knight," said the amused, that surprised innkeeper. "Alight and enter. Please come down and enter." He held the stirrup up while Don Quixote dismounted. While coming up down, he held those ropes of the horse. "Take," but all these words are there: steed, war horse, last poor morsel, last bite of food, dubbed a knight, knighted by the ritual touching of the shoulder with the sword, beckoned, gestured. Now, senor, Spanish for Mr. or Sir. In Spain, they are using this for honoring. Okay, then, "Take good care of my steed, horse. There is not a finer horse in the universe." There is, just imagine the lines which that person is speaking. There is not a finer horse in the universe. The innkeeper promised so, and led the horse away to the stable. When the innkeeper returned, he found Don Quixote pulling off his armor. The helmet had been tied fast with the green ribbons, and it could not be taken off without cutting them. And it was not even possible to take off the helmet, because very tightly it was fastened by the green ribbons. It was the only thing that you have to cut the helmet and put it down. Just imagine. Then he was trying to pull off his armor. "Never shall anyone harm those ribbons," cried Don Quixote, and after vainly trying to untie them, he was obliged to leave them as they were. So he was not even, you can see in the picture, he kept that helmet there only. You got it? Because he was not able to untie those. He was obliged to leave them as they were. It was funny sight to see him sitting there with the head enclosed in the old patched up helmet. "Now, Sir Knight," said the innkeeper, "will you not have some food?" "I will indeed," answered Don Quixote. It was hard for the poor man to get the food to his mouth because of the helmet. for his helmet was much in his way. By using both hands, however, he managed to help himself. Somehow he managed to eat. Suddenly, however, the thought again came to him that he was not yet a knight. He stopped eating. While eating, no, he stopped. The last poor morsel, the last bite of the food was left untouched on the table before him. His appetite had left him. Alas, alas, he groaned. He cried a little bit. I cannot lawfully ride out on my adventure until I have been dubbed a knight. Until any ceremony is there, that one who's going to, that ritual should be there as to honor me as a knight. Dubbed a knight means, see, dubbed a knight. Knighted by ritual touching of the shoulder with a sword. So there should be a ceremony, he told to the innkeeper. He arose, he stood up and beckoned gestures to the innkeeper to follow him to the baron. He told him, gestured, he just showed this, that this way you have to move. I have something to say you, he whispered. Then falling at the innkeeper's feet, he cried, Sir, I shall never rise from this place till you have promised me. Just imagine, see the drama he's creating over there. He just fell down on the feet and he told, I shall never arise from this, I'm not going to rise from this place till you have promised me. Grant the boon mean that you are going to promise, which I am about to beg of you. Now the things which I am going to beg you, you are going to give me. The innkeeper did not know what to do. He tried to raise the poor man up, but he could not. At last he said, I promise. Name the boon, what you want, which you wish, and I will give it to you. He told, okay, whatever you wish, I'll give it to you. Come on. But you stand up. Oh, noble sir, answered Don Quixote, I knew you would not refuse me. Allow me to watch my armor in the chapel, the worshipping place over there of your castle tonight, and then in the morning, he was about to just continue. And what shall I do in the morning? Asked the innkeeper. See the thing. Kind sir, he answered, do this, bestow on me the honor of knighthood. He told me, somehow you do that ceremony and bestow on me, bless me with the honor of knighthood. For I long, because all these things he has, read in those storybooks. For I long to ride through every corner of the earth in quest of adventures, in search of adventures, and this I cannot do until I have been dubbed a knight. This I can't do. I want to go outside for adventures. I want to help. And just imagine, in search of adventures, how can you go out until or unless I'm dubbed as a knight? Until or unless I'm dubbed as a knight. The innkeeper smiled. Certainly, he said. Arise. He told, okay, get up. I will do all that you ask of me. Now, lead me to your chapel. Chapel means that worshipping place. I will watch my armor there. He told, I'm going to keep my armor there and I'm going to watch. Said Don Quixote, just imagine to watch that broken up armor, because he believed that it was of that good, still that good quality. Because he was feeling all these things in reality. I would gladly lead you there, but at the present time there is no chapel in my castle. Even the innkeeper started saying all those words. He told, I don't have any worshipping place. Oh, it will do just as well to watch your armor in some other convenient place. Don't worry, but you can keep it anywhere. Many of the greatest knights have done this when there was no chapel to be found. And he was saying to him that don't worry, it's not only required to keep it there in the chapel. You can keep it anywhere. Noble sir, I believe you, said Don Quixote. Since you have no chapel, I shall be content with any place. Okay, he told that if you don't have that worshipping place, you can tell me any place. Then bring your armor into the courtyard of my castle. Courtyard, the outside. Said the innkeeper, guard it bravely until morning, and at sunrise I will dub you a knight. He told, okay, you sleep. In the morning I'll do the first thing is to do that ceremony. But stop, cried the innkeeper. Have you any money? Not a penny, was the answer. I have never read of any knight carrying money with him. And he told, but I have never read any knight carrying money with him. Oh, well, you are mistaken there, said the innkeeper. The books you have read may not say anything about it. That is because the authors never thought it. worthwhile to write about such common things as money and clean shirts. Oh, it does look reasonable, agreed Don Quixote, but I never thought of it. He told, okay, but I didn't think of that. Then let me advise you as a father advises his son, said the innkeeper. As soon as you have been made a knight, ride homeward. He told, okay, go back home and provide yourself with these necessary articles. I will obey you, most noble sir, answered Don Quixote. He carried his armor to the barnyard and laid it to the horse trough by the well. Just imagine, he kept it there only. Then he began to pace to and fro. He started moving, to and fro, backward, forward. He held his head high like a soldier on the duty, and the old patched helmet, oh my god, he was not able to remove that, falling down over his face, gave him a fearful appearance. He was looking very fearful. During the night, fearful at a bit here means like horrible type. During the night, one of the guests, a mule driver, tried to get water from the trough for one of his mules. He was there to get some water. The container kept for the horses to drink water, trough. In so doing, he moved Don Quixote's armor, which offended Don Quixote. He felt very bad, who then knocked him out with a blow to the head. Oh my god! But just then several of the guests' friends came running into the barnyard. When Don Quixote saw them coming, he braced himself with his shield and drew his sword. He just took out the sword, but he stood bravely at his post. Fling on, he cried, I dare you to come within my reach. And he was just believing that they are coming to fight. Let him alone, cried the innkeeper. He is a harmless fellow who wishes to become a knight. He told that nothing to get, scared of him. He is a harmless fellow who wishes to become a knight. He has lost his senses. Just imagine, he came to know the thing through too much reading, so don't worry about that. Come away and leave him in peace. The innkeeper spoke gently to Don Quixote. Brave sir, you have guarded your armor with courage. Don't worry. You have shown yourself worthy of knighthood, but because he understood the problem. I will give you that honor without further delay. Nothing can please me better, answered Don Quixote. The innkeeper thereupon called to his guests and servants to come and see the ceremony. Then he called upon some of the guests and servants. A book was brought to him in which he kept his accounts of hay means dry grass, and straw. See that book? Don Quixote stood with closed eyes beside his armor. The innkeeper pretended to read a chapter from the book. He was just pretending that I'm reading some lines. Don Quixote knelt down in the dust of barnyard. The innkeeper stood over him and mumbled some words without meaning. He was just saying something. He was just pleasing him. He gave Don Quixote a blow on the neck. Oh my god, a blow on his neck and with his hand, and slapped him on the back. He even slapped him on his back with the flat of his sword, trying to tell that this is a ritual. Arise, Sir Knight, he said, you are now Don Quixote de la Mancha, the most valiant, brave of men. Be always brave. Don Quixote arose, feeling that he was now in truth a knight and really to do brave deeds. This is really very, very interesting. Although better, this lesson is little lengthy, but read and find each and every line, to understand the things and find out the meaning of the difficult words, because anything could be asked from inside. Okay, so keep on reading. Thank you. God bless you.